Welcome back to my YouTube channel, LC Coins World. Today we will take a deep journey into one of the most fascinating coins of mid-20th century, America, the 1961. Jefferson Nickel. This coin may appear small and simple, yet its history, design, composition, and place in American numismatics carry a story that stretches far beyond its 5-cent value to create a detailed professional history that could easily fill a 2-hour video. We must start from the roots of the Jefferson Nickel series itself, and then focus in on the unique aspects that surround the 1961 issue. The Jefferson Nickel series began in 1938 when the United States Mint decided to replace the Buffalo nickel, which had been in circulation since 1913. The new coin was to honor one of the most respected founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson, who was not only the third president of the United States, but also the author of the Declaration of Independence and a man whose ideals shaped American democracy. The design for the new coin was created by Felix Schlag, a German-born American sculptor. His obverse portrait of Jefferson was chosen for its dignified yet approachable appearance, while the reverse depicted Jefferson's home Monticello in Charlottesville, Virginia. This design remained the standard for decades, and by the time we reached 1961, the Jefferson nickel had already become a fixture in everyday American life. The year 1961 was significant for several reasons. America was entering a new decade filled with optimism and challenges. Dwight D. Eisenhower was finishing his presidency, and John F. Kennedy was preparing to take office. The Cold War was intensifying, and technology and culture were rapidly advancing within this context. The 1961 Jefferson nickel was struck at two main facilities: the Philadelphia Mint, which produced coins without a mint mark, and the Denver Mint, which placed a small D mark on the reverse of the coin to indicate its origin. Both mints used standard compositions of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a metallic blend that gave the coin its silver-gray appearance while also making it durable for circulation. The mintage numbers for the 1961 Jefferson nickel were quite high, with over 76 million produced at Philadelphia and nearly 239 million at Denver. These figures show that the coin was common in everyday commerce and could be found in pockets, cash registers, and banks all across the nation. However, despite its large production, the 1961 Jefferson nickel holds importance for collectors because of its subtle varieties, striking characteristics, and role in the broader series. Collectors often pay attention to the condition and quality of strike in the 1961 issue, since many coins from this year were produced with weak strikes. This means the details on Jefferson's hair or on Monticello's steps often appear flat or lacking sharpness. Coins that display strong full steps on Monticello are particularly sought,
where we explore the legacy of coins that have shaped nations and inspired collectors for generations. Today, we take a deep journey into the history, design, significance, and value of the 1961 Jefferson nickel, a 5-cent coin that continues to capture the interest of numismatists and history lovers alike. From its political context to minting techniques, hidden varieties, and collector appeal, this coin tells a story far deeper than its face value suggests. The 1961 Jefferson nickel was part of a coin series that began in 1938, when it replaced the Buffalo nickel, which had circulated from 1913 to 1938. The Jefferson design was chosen through a competition organized by the United States Mint, and the winning artist was Felix Schlag. Schlag's design featured a left-facing profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, on the obverse, while the reverse showcased a depiction of Jefferson's home Monticello, a neoclassical structure located in Virginia. The original design remained relatively unchanged through the years, with only slight modifications introduced for clarity or minting improvements. By 1961, the United States was in a dynamic period of its history. The Cold War was at its peak. John F. Kennedy had just taken office, and the nation was shifting socially and economically. This atmosphere of change formed the background to the coins minted that year, including the Jefferson nickel, struck primarily at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the small D mint mark on the reverse, The 1961D Jefferson nickel is of particular interest to collectors because of its mintage volume, striking quality, and several die variations. Over 229 million Jefferson nickels were struck at the Denver Mint in 1961, making it one of the higher mintage years in the series. Although this volume suggests the coin is relatively common in circulated condition, uncirculated examples, especially those in Ms. 65 and above, are harder to find due to weaknesses in the strike and poor planchet quality. These minting inconsistencies are what make high-grade examples significantly more valuable among collectors. The Jefferson nickel is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a durable silvery appearance. Although the coin contains no silver, its composition makes it resistant to wear and ideal for everyday transactions. Its diameter is 21.2 mm with a weight of 5 grams and a plain edge. The metal composition and specifications remained consistent throughout most of the series until the wartime nickels of 1942 to 1945, when silver was temporarily introduced due to metal shortages. Collectors who pursue the 1961 Jefferson nickel often pay close attention to strike quality. Full steps is a designation given by grading agencies such as PCGs and NGC to coins that display complete and uninterrupted steps on the Monticello building on the reverse. This detail is notoriously difficult to find on many dates in the Jefferson series, especially the 1961D, which is well known for weak strikes and worn dies. Therefore, 1961 D Jefferson nickels with full steps command a premium in the collector market and can fetch significantly higher prices depending on condition. The Jefferson nickel series is also popular among error collectors, and the 1961D coin is no exception. Some known varieties include die cracks, repunched mint marks, and off-center strikes. There are even examples of coins with double die obverses or reverses. Though these are rare, any such variety can dramatically increase the value of an otherwise common coin, making the 1961 Jefferson nickel a rewarding hunt for sharp-eyed collectors. Beyond technical details, this coin represents a broader piece of American history. The early 1960s were a time of technological innovation. Civil rights movements and political transformation. Coins from this period carry with them a sense of being witness to change and continuity. The Jefferson nickel itself stands as a symbol of American values of liberty, democracy, and architectural beauty, embodied in both its subject and design. The legacy of the Jefferson nickel series continued until 2004, when the Westward Journey series temporarily replaced it to commemorate the bicentennial of the Lewis and Clark expedition. Still, the original Schlag design returned briefly before being permanently modified in 2006 to include a new forward-facing Jefferson portrait. The 1961 Jefferson nickel therefore remains one of the many chapters in the long and evolving story of American coinage, reflecting mid-century design sensibilities and minting practices. As a collector, you might encounter the 1961 D Jefferson nickel in circulation, coin shops, or estate collections. While circulated examples hold minimal monetary value, they offer historical value and a tangible connection to the past. On the other hand, coins preserved in original rolls or found in mint state condition can be worth considerably more, especially when certified by top grading agencies. Grading plays a vital role in determining the market value of this coin. A 1961D Jefferson nickel in average circulated condition may be worth just face value or slightly above, but coins graded Ms. 65 or higher can range from tens to hundreds of dollars depending on visual appeal and strike quality. The presence of full steps can easily double or triple a coin's value, making detailed examination under magnification an essential part of evaluating your collection. For those interested in completing a full Jefferson nickel set, the 1961D remains an accessible yet challenging date due to the need for high-quality examples to complete registry sets. In fact, Many collectors enjoy the thrill of upgrading their Jefferson collections over time as they come across better struck or more visually appealing coins. In closing, the 1961 Jefferson nickel is more than just a 5-cent piece. It is a compact artifact of American heritage representing political vision, artistic skill, and industrial precision. Welcome back to LC Coins World, where history is alive in the coins we carry in our hands. Today, we take you on a journey deep into the heart of a coin you may have once spent without a second thought, but now it holds layers of history and meaning that most collectors overlook. Get ready to explore the fascinating life of the 1973 Jefferson nickel. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone who remembers using these coins daily, this episode will open your eyes to the hidden value and rich legacy behind one of America's most underappreciated coins. So sit back, relax, and let's go back in time with the 1973 Jefferson nickel. The story of the 1973 Jefferson nickel begins long before the coin was minted. To understand it fully, we must first understand the man it honors: Thomas Jefferson. Jefferson was not only the third president of the United States, he was also the principal author of the Declaration of Independence and a visionary whose influence on American democracy still echoes today. His image was chosen to appear on the nickel beginning in 1938, replacing the buffalo nickel which had been in circulation since 1913. In 1938, a national design competition was held by the United States Mint to find a new image for the 5-cent coin. Artist Felix Schlag won the competition with the left-facing portrait of Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia home, on the reverse. Schlag's design would become one of the longest-running designs in US coin history, remaining largely unchanged until 2004, and that includes the 1973 version, which carries this same iconic imagery. The year 1973 was an important moment in American history. The nation was going through significant political tension with the Watergate scandal building momentum. Vietnam was still in the headlines. The oil crisis was looming, and the economy was dealing with both inflation and unemployment. In the middle of all this uncertainty, Americans went about their daily lives using coins like the Jefferson nickel for everyday purchases: sodas, newspapers, postage, and more. It's easy to forget that in your pocket during those turbulent times, there might have been a coin silently passing through history. The 1973 Jefferson nickel was minted at two major locations, Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia mint coins do not have a mint mark, while the Denver coins carry the small D mark. There were no nickels minted in San Francisco that year for general circulation, but there were special proof coins produced for collectors with an S mint mark. These proof coins were struck on polished dies using specially prepared planchets and have a brilliant mirror-like finish. In total, over 384 million Jefferson nickels were minted in 1973, including both Philadelphia and Denver strikes. That means the coin is not rare in terms of mintage volume. However, the real story lies in the details: coin condition, minting errors, and historical context. Collectors seek out coins in mint state condition, especially those graded Ms. 65 and above by professional grading services. Finding a 1973 Jefferson nickel with full steps on Monticello on the reverse side is a key sign of a strong strike and brings premium value. Full steps mean that all 6 steps on the building are visible without interruption, which is relatively rare and can significantly boost a coin's value. Minting errors are another fascinating aspect of the 1973 Jefferson nickel. Some examples include off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, and die cracks. These errors turn ordinary coins into rare collector's items. For instance, a 1973D nickel with an off-center strike of more than 10% can fetch several times its face value. A doubled die obverse showing doubling in Jefferson's I or lettering would be even more valuable depending on the severity and visibility of the error. Now, let's talk about composition. Like most nickels from the mid-20th century, the 1973 Jefferson nickel is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel. It weighs 5 grams and has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters. There is no silver content in this coin, although sometimes collectors confuse older nickels with wartime nickels from 1942 to 1945, which did contain silver. The 1973 nickel was purely a base metal coin, made for everyday transactions. As we go deeper into this coin story, we must acknowledge its place in culture. For many people, the Jefferson nickel was the first coin they handled as children. It was given in change at local diners and soda fountains. It was saved in piggy banks and coin jars across America. It's a coin that lived quietly in pockets and purses across the country, but also in the background of some of America's most defining moments. The simplicity of the design, the consistency of the strike, and the value it held for so long made it a true part of American life. Coin collecting surged in popularity in the 1970s and 1982, which means many 1973 nickels were pulled from circulation and stored in albums. Today, it is not unusual to find circulated versions of the coin with visible wear. However, finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is a different story. The passage of time, natural wear, and mass circulation have made high-quality examples harder to find, making them more appealing to collectors now than ever. Let's not forget about the Jefferson nickel's role in the broader narrative of U.S. coinage. It represents the bridge between traditional coin designs and modern coinage changes that would begin just a few years later. By 2004, the Jefferson nickel underwent major design updates, including a new obverse portrait and different reverse scenes to honor the Lewis and Clark expedition. But the 1973 version remains a strong example of the classic look of mid-century American coinage. And if you're wondering whether your 1973 Jefferson nickel is worth anything more than 5 cents, here's the reality. Most circulated versions are worth face value or slightly more, but uncirculated coins, especially those with full steps, can be worth anywhere from $5 to over $100, depending on condition and rarity. Error coins, as we discussed earlier, can be worth even more. As you hold this coin, or look for it in your change, remember that you're holding a small yet powerful piece of American history. The 1973 Jefferson nickel may seem simple, but it reflects a nation navigating change, holding on to tradition, and preparing for a new era. It is a coin of the people, a coin of memory, and a coin that still holds value both financially and historically. So whether you're a lifelong collector or just now realizing the stories behind the coins in your drawer, the 1973 Jefferson nickel is worth a second look. It's more than metal. It's memory preserved in copper and nickel.